Some glad morning when this life is o'er.
This is Pete Evans and Barry Bowen with Trinity Foundation, and we're going to talk today about Jimmy Swaggart since he just passed away. We want to talk a little bit about his organization, and I want to talk about the fact that I worked undercover in Jimmy Swaggart's ministry in 1997. I'm going to read from my field notes on October 18, 1987. We made contact with Jimmy Swaggart personally today. He asked a lot of questions, and I painted with Donnie Swaggart, and then our work was inspected by Francis Swaggart. It was a work day at the church. And I remember meeting Jimmy, and he says, "You boys from Texas?" Well, two of us came up from Texas to work undercover in his ministry. We worked for a while in doing carpentry around the city, uh, some failed carpentry experiences. And then I filled out an application, and they hired me and John Anderson from Trinity Foundation. We attended every Wednesday night service, and we attended every Sunday service, and I took notes, and we fed the information back to Ole Anthony here at Trinity Foundation, and it was quite an experience. We were living in the Devil's Swamp in Port Allen, which was on the other side of the Mississippi River from Baton Rouge, and we were living in this small trailer that the floors were rotting out. Paid $115 a month for our rent, and I just remember living in the Devil's Swamp. That was the sign on the side of the road where we were living. But we worked for several months in maintenance for Jimmy Swaggart. We worked in their apartment complex building they had for students, and we also worked at Donnie Swaggart's house next door to Jimmy Swaggart's house. I replaced rotten boards on his porch. So it was quite an experience. I was using my Florida driver's license that I'd gotten the previous year working undercover in Hinn Ministries in Orlando. And then I was doing trash runs at night at their lawyer's office. And that was terrible because the lawyer's office was next door to a child care center. And so all the diapers went into the same dumpster. It was disgusting. Anyway, it was terrible. Anyway, we found a resolution of the board of directors of the Family Worship Center Church. We found this in the lawyer's trash, that they had merged three organizations into one in the Family Worship Center Church, and then sent a letter to the IRS that now that we're merged, we're a church, we don't have to file the Form 990 anymore.
So this is from 1995, and in that year, Jimmy Swaggart Ministries brought in $11,286,310. It spent $10,933,545, and they had net assets of $82,380,178. A 990 is a very critical document for conscientious donors. A 990 discloses where the money goes. It reveals governance issues. Congress redesigned the 990s since then. Under Senator Chuck Grassley, they were redesigned. When you analyze a 990, there's a statement of expenses page, and it has several columns. One of those columns is for fundraising. Another column is for management expenses, and you subtract those from the total expenses, and you're left with program services expenses. That's the money the organization spends on its mission. The more money that goes to a ministry's mission, the less is spent on fundraising or management overhead. And so that's the critical metric for evaluating nonprofit organizations. Organizations that fail to file a Form 990, they're not telling donors how effective they are with the money that's given.
Let me interject for a second. Last night we went to a premiere of The Religion Business put out by Nathan Apfel. We were honored to be a part of this 7-part series where Nathan interviewed us several times in person and on the phone. And he interviewed Julie Roys at one point. and she talked about the governance of churches, and most people don't pay attention to governance of their own church, yet it's critical. We feel like we want to raise that issue and raise awareness so that church members will pay more attention to the governance of their own church. Barry and I hope to bring you a video every month.
We're preparing a new project. We're going to be publishing a bunch of documents to the Trinity Foundation website. That's trinityfi.org. We're going to be posting court decisions, government documents showing the loopholes in the tax code being exploited by religious organizations, items found in the trash from investigations, and other documents we believe will be helpful to concerned Christians wanting to understand the issue of fraud and the problems of excessive compensation in church and ministry.
And so please, if you like what we do, please support Trinity Foundation. Let us know if you like our videos on YouTube, and please comment.
Thank you for watching.